When have you found that college is really worth it for someone?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I'm a big proponent of Hillsdale College. So Hillsdale, I think, is America's greatest college because it's what college should be, which is it's the development of the soul and character. So character is one of the most important things that you can invest in when you're 18, 19, 20, 20 years old. And I guarantee you, if you go to most colleges, they're about preparing you for your career, but they're not about preparing your character. And character is really, really important, right? Character literally comes from the Greek word tattoo, or to etch into you. Character will define every decision, right? From what you eat to what you drink, to how you communicate to people, to the decisions you make. Way more important than whether you have a skill. Having a skill is important. I'm not diminishing that. But if you guys are building a business, wouldn't you rather have people of high character or high skill? Of course you want people of high character. Skills can come. Character is the hard thing. And so I think that we as the college world has done a really bad job of developing character. They don't even prioritize it instead.
Why? Why do you think it's failed so many people?
Well, those are two separate questions. So why do they not teach character? Well, first of all, they don't think that's their reason for existing. Most of them, it depends. Like the super left-wing colleges, which is most of them, they're all like, we're here to create global citizens for an ever-changing world, like some sort of pablum. Or they're like, we want to have you very specific, skill. Like we want you to be able to like turn a widget. Which, by the way, if AI replaces that job, what do you have? That's a cool thing about developing character. Like if AI replaces jobs, you still have the most important of all things, which is the difference between good and evil, right and wrong, beauty and ugly, right? You know the difference between the high things and the low things. Like that's what we should strive for in higher education. That's why I think Hillsdale does a great job. But yeah, if you want to become a doctor or a lawyer, of course you have to go to college, right? But you still have to go through this ridiculous environment of left-wing social indoctrination. But I will say though that I've debated all around the world. I've debated at Cambridge and Oxford, all across the country. The other problem is that they're not in the pursuit of wisdom. And this is one of the more important things. Like if you ask a regular college kid, what is the difference between knowledge and wisdom? They'll just trip over themselves. And it's not a semantic thing, but semantic means meaning, but it's not a semantic thing. It's actually important. Knowledge is just facts. Like, okay, I know the capital of, California, Sacramento, whatever. Wisdom is the knowledge of things that never change. It's the understanding of things that never change. It's like, what is human nature? What does it mean to be a good person? What is beauty? What is goodness? What is the best way of living? What is a society in its fullest form? Is it good to have children? Wisdom is understanding that, is even playing with the idea, like, is there a God? Like, who are we? How did we get here? I think that's what college should be all about, is the cultivation of wisdom. As a Christian, we believe wisdom starts with the fear of the Lord. But yeah, I don't mean to talk uninterrupted for 10 minutes straight, but yeah, I think that college has completely derailed its purpose.
I think it's really interesting. Ben Shapiro claims to be wealthy in America, you need to do three things: graduate high school, get a full-time job, and get married before you have children.
And he's right. And that's the Brookings Institution. He's right on all three of those.
Do you think he's missing anything?
First of all, I like Ben a lot. We disagree on some big things, but Ben's great, and he's been a good friend for a while. Yeah, I would say like become a person of high character. Again, I'm going to kind of go back to a main
Do you
theme.
think that is essential to be wealthy in America?
That's a good question. I don't think being wealthy is that important. Like, do you want to be wealthy of the soul or just have like a bunch of money? Like,
well, that would be a different question, but I
guess
agree with you.
But like the question is fine. If you want to be rich, I can tell you how to get rich. Like that's actually not that hard. Like,
How would you get rich?
Like work relentlessly and solve a problem for people and like dedicate your entire life to it and like become an insane person. Basically.
Do you think it's possible to still do all of those things though and then not become rich?
Of course, but like if your whole reason for living is to become rich, you will become rich. Most people I meet that want to be rich, they actually don't want to be rich. They want to have the lifestyle of being rich. They don't actually want to be rich. They're like, you have to sacrifice everything to want to become actually rich, unless you're born into it. Like no nights, few weekends. I traveled 3,000 days over a decade. I'm a million miler in American, Delta, United. I'm in all 50 states multiple times. Like it's thankless, gritty work. Like Shapiro hosted 2 radio shows, plus like Breitbart.com and Truth Revolt, like not easy. So if you actually want to be rich, then there is a path for you. You have to like sacrifice in like immensely. I don't drink alcohol. Like Tucker Carlson doesn't drink alcohol. Donald Trump doesn't drink alcohol. Now, that doesn't mean that like you can't be rich if you don't drink alcohol, but you must sacrifice stuff. Now, it might be that you create a good widget or like you might a good social media app or you might get good venture funding. But even those guys will tell you, you have to fail a lot. You have to sacrifice a lot. You have to be really gritty. I just challenge the premise of like, what is the most important? Like, I think if getting material wealth is the most important thing, I think there actually is a playbook for that. That absent of like committing crimes, like being a really crappy person, being sociopathic, it depends also what you define as rich. Like, there is a way forward for if it's your number one reason for living to, earn $500,000 a year. Like, that's very conceivable in America. But if you're like, hey, actually, the most important thing is to have kids, which I actually think having children is more important than having material success. And I have both. And I can tell you kids are way better than having money. Like, honestly, not being poor is awesome. That's like the best thing I could tell you. Like, being super rich, and I'm not super rich, but I would consider to be successful under, American terms, is great. But up to a place, it's kind of like, you're blessed, you're wealthy, it's fine. Not being poor is the true blessing. Not worrying about like medical bills or being in debt is like really bad. But yeah, it depends on what you want. If you want to be rich, like actually like have your bank account big, then America, of course you can do that.
How much of people being poor is their fault versus just the circumstances of their life?
It's both. It's very case dependent. A lot of it is agency. So we as conservatives tend to blame free will, agency, and the person a lot more than circumstance. But of course, circumstance play a role. Of course it does.
One of the things that I've been confused about is why financial literacy is never taught in schools. Like, you think that this would be something taught throughout middle school, high school,
Yes.
college. Why is that?
I mean, if you want like an actual conspiracy theory, that's like
Yeah.
the best evidence of a conspiracy. If you want to like have people remain super poor and dependent on the government, don't teach them financial literacy. It's inexcusable.
And who do you think is in charge of that?
No, I'm not. Like, I'm just saying, like, I don't know who's like the designer of that conspiracy.
Right.
The incentives are aligned.
They
But I'm
are.
just saying, like, if you want a generation to like
Right.
have to go to the payday lending people, and if you want to have them like filling out credit cards at 25% interest, don't teach financial literacy. I don't know who. I mean,
It's convenient.
I'm a big school choice advocate.
Yeah.
I think that we need school choice. I think the public sector teacher unions and the public sector cartel have done a huge damage to this country. But yeah, I mean, look, there's how many young kids right now that are 17 can tell you the difference between credit and debit? They can't. So one of the things I like about Trump's upcoming big, beautiful bill is that every new baby born in America will get a $1,000 loan from the federal government I don't know if you guys know about this, but in a investment account that they can't touch. They're 18, invested in the Dow Jones Industrial Average that they'll be able to monitor throughout their 18 years. It can be grown by philanthropists, family members, grandparents. So they'll actually be able to see their wealth increase. So they're stakeholders. So if we have 2 kids, if we have another kid, that kid will immediately have a investment account that's only a one-way drop box. You can't access this money until you're 18. So it actually creates ownership units for the next generation. I think it's a phenomenal
I wish
idea.
they did that with Social Security.
Oh, of course they should. We were told it was a lockbox and it wasn't. Of course. But no, I mean, look, if you want like the secret to get rich, it's actually like not super hard. It's like live below your means, save your money, invest in good companies, and then find good ideas and read a lot. If you just read a lot and you understand, like all of a sudden you'll see trends and you'll be well informed. Again, I don't want to make it seem like it's super easy, but it depends what you define by rich. But I'll say one final thing. People are so bad with money. Like, again, if your top priority is getting drunk, okay, then go do that. Like, I know a lot of people, they're like, I want to be rich. I spent $700 going out this weekend. Like, I guess you don't want to be rich. Okay. You want to feel good and you want to have a bunch of, toxins go through your liver, but you actually don't want to live a life of happiness and contentment. And if you want to, I'm not a moralist. If you want to drink, go ahead. It's a free society. Go do that. But then don't all of a sudden complain to me that you're not materially wealthy.